in Venice remembers a scary time in America when 120,000 people of Japanese descent were imprisoned in camps during World War II. The fear was they might have been enemy sympathizers. Among the incarcerated, Mei Kageyama from Venice.
Yet I was frightened. I thought we were going to be sent back to Japan. So I didn't know what was going on because I was only 18 years old. So my younger sisters, 2 sisters, and my brother, we all left for Manzanar from this very corner.
April 1942. Right here at Venice and Lincoln Boulevards, more than 1,000 Japanese Americans were forced to board buses for the Manzanar detention camp. 75 years later, on that very corner, the Venice Japanese American Memorial Monument is dedicated. This monument serves as a reminder that the injustices suffered by people of Japanese ancestry should never happen to any group ever again.
Just because of your religion, your color of skin, your gender, your sexual orientation. People make assumptions, and if doggone it, something goes wrong, then you're the one to blame.
Many of those incarcerated have since died. But relatives, some showing old ID tags from camp, spoke for them during the dedication.
We were reduced to numbers, and this is what Trump wants to do. He wants to have all Muslims register, and then by registering, they can be found wherever they are and taken away.
I think my husband is looking down right now and smiling. He was so strongly believing that this will happen, and it became a reality for him.
At Venice and Lincoln Boulevards in Venice, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Supporters raised more than $100,000 for the 9-foot-tall black granite monument. Over in Canoga Park, the first ever cool pavement installation in the state of California recently took place. Rasha Goel has more on how the city is cooling down the streets as we hit the hot summer months.
This is the hottest part of the city of Los Angeles.
Councilman Bob Blumenfield is referring to Jordan Street in Canoga Park, which officials say is one of the hottest neighborhoods in Los Angeles. With street surfaces hitting up to 160 degrees, the city of LA is taking action to cool things down with a new cool pavement pilot program. It involves treating streets with a coating that helps lower the temperature of the street.
The hot sun beats down on the black asphalt, creates this heat island effect, and ultimately we are all the victims of that. The hope, though, is that by reflecting more light, the lighter pavement coating will keep the air and the surrounding street cooler and release less heat into our neighborhoods.
City officials say not only will the new coating help save money on air conditioning, but also will benefit in other ways.
One study estimated that a citywide cool pavement program could save $15 million a year in cooling costs and $76 million a year in smog-related medical and lost work costs.
As part of the pilot program, the Bureau of Street Services will be testing the materials, measuring the heat, and checking durability to see the long-term impact on residents. Only time will tell if the material holds up or if it just looks good on the surface. I'm Rasha Goel for LA This Week.
City officials say they'll be laying patches of the coating in the other 14 districts in the upcoming months. Well, from cooling down the streets to beautifying them, in the case of One Pico Boulevard neighborhood, it starts with a tree planting and a little help from 2 well-known city leaders. Ana Marcos takes a look.
This is a community in action. Members of this neighborhood on Pico Boulevard wanted a greener, more beautiful, and pedestrian-friendly street, and they worked for 1.5 years to get it. Their reward today, some 50 new trees planted, thanks to the mayor's Great Streets initiative.
What we're trying to do is to get trees to shade our pedestrian walkways so that people in the neighborhood will want to come out and use our stores, and also, more importantly, just to meet each other and to have a place that we can call our home and our community.
Oh, and it was such a big deal that both Council President Herb Wesson and Mayor Eric Garcetti, with his daughter, stopped by to shovel some dirt and mulch around.
What this is about today, it's about a great street. It's about community coming together.
And there's more. These people are really serious about beautifying their streets. They've created a board in which residents get to pick what kind of street they want. complete with landscaping, sidewalks, planters, and plants. And everyone seems to enjoy playing this little game with stickers.
Citizens like me could come and just identify our first, second, and third choices. And it's with joint participation like this that you wind up getting the type of street you want.
And soon, if these residents get their way, the game of stickers on a board will evolve and lead to the creation of one of LA's truly great streets. I'm Anna Marcos for LA This Week.
By the way, it costs about $800 to water each of these trees for the first 3 years. But worry not, these residents thought of everything. They applied for and got a grant for that as well. While courtesy to coworkers is the house special at one restaurant prominent for pastrami. Gil Reyes has more on a special honor for Langer's Delicatessen in Westlake. Gil.
Well, Yana, when you come to the world-famous Langer's, you can order the roast beef sandwich, you can order the tuna sandwich, but this is the sandwich everyone really comes for, the pastrami, the famous number 19. But it's not the pastrami sandwich that's getting the award today. It's Langer's for how they treat their employees.
LA Times food critic Jonathan Gold once said the pastrami here is so good, there should be a statue of Langer's signature number 19 sandwich at the LA Civic Center. This could be the next best thing. LA City and labor leaders honoring Langer's Deli owner Norm Langer for being good to his workers.
You don't give them scraps. You don't give them leftovers. You make sure your employees are eating properly, healthy, they get their proper breaks. You know, take care of their needs. It's family.
And it comes back to you?
It comes back over and over and over. I've got employees that have been with me for many, many years.
Langer's Deli, a Westlake District institution since 1947, receives the Buy Blue Ribbon Award from labor groups, not just for being one of the finest restaurants in town, but also for paying all 42 of its employees a living wage with benefits. The honor comes from a group called Labor 411.
We have a list of over 10,000 union goods and services that people can patronize where employers do the right thing and pay their employees a living wage, they have a voice on the job.
What Labor 411 does is it puts that list out so that the consumer knows where those companies are.
My head dishwasher has been here 49 years. My head chef has been here 46 years. Jaime, my manager, has been here 28. There's a reason these people stay. It's family.
From Langer's Deli, west of downtown, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
A national directory of union-supported businesses like Langer's can be found at labor411.org. The homeless count results confirm that the city is facing a real homeless crisis. A vandalized Vietnam War mural gets restored, while another mural across town celebrates the LGBTQ community. All these stories in City Beat. Homelessness in the city of Los Angeles jumped by 20% over the last year, while the county saw a spike of 23%, according to the results of the 2017 Greater Los Angeles Homeless Count. In the city, the total number of homeless went up to 34,189. The homeless count took place over 3 nights in January and was conducted by the Los Angeles Homeless Services Authority, which saw a record number of volunteers, totaling more than 8,000 participate. In light of the higher number of volunteers, the number of homeless may not have gone up, but LASA may have just gotten more accurate at counting them, officials said. The tally comes as the city and county are investing a record number of funds toward homeless services, including the construction of 10,000 units of housing and other programs. A restored Vietnam War POW MIA mural in Venice that had been vandalized was unveiled recently. Last May, vandals sprayed a thick sheen of silver paint over most of the names on the mural. The mural had no protective anti-graffiti coating, so some of the original mural was destroyed in the process. City Councilman Mike Bonin, whose district includes Venice, said it took a focused and inclusive community effort to begin restoring the mural. Mayor Eric Garcetti joined Instagram COO Marnie Levine to unveil a new mural celebrating LGBTQ Pride Month at the Fashion House of Paul Smith on Melrose Avenue. The mural, located on the store's west side, was painted in the colors of the rainbow. the international LGBTQ symbol. Garcetti said that social media has started to make a big impact in the LGBTQ community.
We need to let them know that they are not alone. And through Instagram and through social media, we can touch their lives. We can let them know that they are part of a community of love, a community of kindness, and a community of understanding.
The founder of LA's very first museum is remembered for some of his passions, like art and cultural diversity. Gil Reyes shows us how they blend on Lummis Day in LA.
This exhibit at Southwest Museum honors museum founder Charles Fletcher Lummis, journalist, art lover, and lover of the Arroyo Seco.
These are all artists who live in the area, who love living here, and are celebrating it through their visual art in this exhibition.
During Lummis Day festivities, the exhibit called For the Love of the Arroyo opens.
It's just a delight to have this event and see the level of community participation and support for our history and our culture.
Lummis Day celebrates art and diversity in Northeast LA, as Charles Lummis famously supported Native American rights and artifacts before his death in 1928. Over in Highland Park, another exhibit entitled Muralismo features iconic Chicano murals.
As a political activist, a cultural activist, for me it's very important what I see in the murals because it's helped me to understand the community where the murals sit in.
So what's next for LA Murals?
In the future, it literally will talk to you. There'll be information coming out. You can even probably access information from the wall virtually as things develop out of, that's, trade secrets right now, but we will be coming out with the first augmented reality mural in Los Angeles.
Celebrating Northeast LA art, past, present, and future on Lummis Day, I'm Gil Reyes for LA This Week.
Lummis Day, a 3-day diversity festival, also featured live music, dance, and poetry readings. Well, relax and take some time out during a meditation event, or get your heart racing during a sports car showcase or a city race urban adventure. All this in this week's Things to Do. It's a festival designed to raise the vibration of humanity through a united connection of live music, visual arts, meditations, sound healing, workshops, lectures, interactive experiences, exposure to local and global brands, and connecting our world through unity. So take a deep breath and relax at the Mass Meditation Initiative, taking place at the Los Angeles State Historic Park on Saturday, June 17th. The event is free, but you have to register at eventbrite.com. Join the Peterson Museum for one of the largest and most interactive events of the year. The museum will host an immersive Le Mans viewing party where you can watch Le Mans live alongside the museum's Forza Gallery and can compete with professional and media influencers for digital on-track dominance in the driving gallery. Le Mans will be streamed on big screens in the Seeing Red Ferrari 70 Years exhibit, surrounded by some of the most priceless race cars of all time. It all takes place on Saturday, June 17th at the Peterson Museum. For more information, visit peterson.org. In City Race Urban Adventure Hunts, teams of 2 to 4 players solve fun and challenging clues, leading them on a 3-hour hunt through one of LA's many diverse neighborhoods. Teams will crack codes, solve challenging puzzles, uncover little-known facts, and more, all while racing against other teams to be first to finish with the most correct answers. This subterranean city race will send you on a captivating quest through the state-of-the-art stations of the LA Metro, where you'll hunt for clues amid some of the most striking and provocative public art in the region. Register online at racela.com. And that's a look at some things to do. Well, that's going to do it for this edition. I'm Yana Kane from all of us here at LA This Week. Thanks for joining us. A reminder that you can catch us online at lacityview.org. You can also follow and like us on Facebook. We'll see you back here next week for more of LA This Week.
So they will have to take two, 'cause I've got trouble holding this man of mine.
MyLA 311 is an easy-to-use mobile phone app available from the App Store or on Google Play. MyLA 311 links Angelenos with the services and information they need to enjoy their city, beautify their community, and stay connected with their local government. Find the nearest fire station, library, or even senior citizen center. Request graffiti removal. You can even pay your DWP bill. Keep up with what's going on at City Hall and even report illegal dumping. MyLA 311 puts the power of City Hall in the palm of your hand.
Good morning, good morning. I want to welcome everybody to the Los Angeles City Council. This council meets every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. The public is welcome. Mr. Clerk, I believe we have a quorum. Would you please call the roll?
Blumenfield, Bono, Buscaino, Cedillo, Engler, Harris, Dawson, Weezer, Carrasco, Corin, Martinez, Farrell, Price, Rue, Weston, 11 members present and quorum, Mr. President.
First order of business.
Approval of the minutes.
Harris Dawson moves. O'Farrell seconds. Next.
Commendatory resolutions for approval.
Rue moves. Bonin seconds. Next.
Mr. President, there's been a request to refer item 6 back to the Transportation Committee for further consideration and to continue item 5 to September 19th.
Okay, so without objection, so ordered. Continue.
Very good, sir. Items 1 through 4 are items noticed for public hearing. We do have cards on all 4 items, sir.
Okay, then if you would continue.
Items 5 through 16 are items for which public hearings have been held. The committee report for item 16 has been posted and circulated and is now before council for consideration.
Okay, let's prepare to vote. Let's open the roll, close the roll, tabulate the vote.
12 ayes.
Continue.
Mr. President, items 17 and 18 are items for which public hearings have not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, those items are now before this body. Do you have cards on these items?
Yes, sir, cards on both items.
Okay, continue.
Mr. President, that brings us to items 19 through 23. They're items scheduled for closed session. Would you like to hold them on the desk?
For right now, we should hold them and just move on.
Very good, sir. On today's continuation agenda, item 25 is an item for which a public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Okay, so without objection, that item is now before this body. Do we have cards? Okay, continue.
Mr. President, that brings council back to either presentations or it is after 10:15. You could go into the special if you so desire.
Thank you. I'm going to look to Mr. Cedillo to see if you'd like to begin with your presentation. Looks like we have some very important young men with us today. The floor is yours.
Sure. Loud. Let them hear you.
Mr. Cedillo, the floor is yours.
Troop attention. Troop salute. Mr. President. Mr. President, thank you this morning. I'm here with great honor and great privilege to introduce Boy Scout Troop 121. They are here to celebrate their 100th anniversary with a series of special events culminating in December with the Centennial Float at the Echo Park Community Parade. I met this troop through one of our bi-weekly cleanups. As you know, we have a campaign ongoing in our district called Keep It Clean. It's our effort to work with community groups to make sure that our environment is protected and that our community is clean. And I ran into them over in Echo Park, and they are just amazing, an amazing, amazing group. This troop's Centennial program will include a 121-mile bike trip from Santa Monica to San Diego. It's going to have a 50-mile backpack trek through Kings Canyon National Park, and then they're going to have a cross-country trip to Washington, D.C. The troop was founded in 100 years ago by J.O. Smith, who served as the director of the YMCA for Metropolitan LA and was president of the California Christian Endeavor Union. Today, Troop 121 is a multi-ethnic troop comprised of 30 Boy Scouts that meet every week at the Central City Action Committee in Echo Park. It's being led by LAUSD elementary school teacher Ruben Wessel since 2003 and is supported by the LA Host Lions Club, the Old Timers Club. It's a 501c3 organization formed of former troops. At their recent reunion, they had members come back who were 92 years old. That's the impact of Troop 121 on our community. I want to congratulate the troop for continuing to provide financial assistance and educational support to underprivileged, challenged, inner-city, at-risk urban youth. Scouting is a way of developing discipline, goal setting, leadership. It puts people on the right track. They make the right decisions. I'm always excited when I see them at Echo Park on our cleanups. They're very disciplined, they're very united, and they're very committed to civic engagement and civic leadership. They have a great leader. Ruben Wessel is extraordinary in his commitment of his personal time to these young men. You may know his brother, Ben Wessel, is a senator in the state of California, but he looks up to Ruben because of his commitment to community and to service. And so with that, let me introduce Troop Leader Ruben Wessel.
Thank you. On behalf of the entire Troop 121 family, we want to thank you for hosting us at this great venue. We have an alumni group, like I said, that has, our oldest member is L. Wilkes. He's an architect, still working architect, 94 years old. We have members from all walks of life, from lawyers to teachers to judges who have been members of our troop. And basically, we're passing on that legacy to our latest generation of scouts here in Echo Park. So once again, thank you for hosting us. And once again, we're hoping that we will continue this for another 100 years, if not more. Thank you.
Great. Members, with that, we present Troop 121. Come on, guys, get close to each other. Don't be shy.
Shaheen, Shah, Shalaka like a bull, like a fighter, fighter, six, boom, 121, rah, rah, rah.
There you go. Smile, guys. Come on. Yes. Okay. Let's go, guys. All right. Yeah.
Mr. City Clerk, did you have an announcement to make? Go ahead,
Madam President, at this time, would you like to take the closed session items 19 through 22?
Yes, let's go ahead and take those items.
Very good. For item 19, in the case entitled AIG Property Casualty Company versus City of Los Angeles, there is a recommendation to expend $245,000 in settlement. For item 20, in the case entitled LA Catholic Worker et al. Versus City of Los Angeles et al., there's a recommendation to expend $495,000 in settlement. For item 21, in the case entitled Roy Galvin versus City of Los Angeles et al., there's a recommendation to expend $399,999 in settlement. And for item 22, in the case entitled Randall Bernard Allen versus Detective Thomas Small et al., there is a recommendation to expend $550,000 in settlement payable in fiscal years 2016-17 and 2017-18.
Thank you for that. Members, those items are before us. Let's open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Okay, those items are passed. Let's move on to our speakers. Our first speaker is Sean. Sean, are you here? Sean, I just want to remind you the cards that you signed up to speak on were items 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, 18, 24, 25, and general public comment.
Item 1, support. Items, I support all items. General public comment. Be careful when you...
John, hold on. Sean, we're going to give you a minute. Go ahead with your general public comment. Go ahead.
Be careful when you go to the beach. There's sharks sightings all over the beaches. Use common sense. Please be careful. And today's my last city council meeting. I'm summer hyenas till September. Thanks.
Thank you, Sean. Have a happy summer. Be safe. Next speaker is Herman. Herman, are you speaking? Not your mother, sir. The items that you filled out cards for were item 1, 2, 3, 4, 17, 18, 25, and general public comment. Go ahead.
Well, as you already know, in item number 1 in CD7, we have an absent representative, Ms. Monica Rodriguez. And soon she'll put lighting up to avoid all the pimps and the criminals that occupy the valley. Rookie. And then I go to item number 2 for the double dwarf. His name is Englander, as you all may know, 5th place loser relative to the improvement maintenance. What does he know about maintenance? He can't even clean his own house. And then the presentation to adopt the accompanying ordinance, levying assessments, and ordering the maintenance. Am I on topic, Rookie? Thank you. And then I go into item number 3 as well, which is CD2, who's not here in his seat to push the button. See, the gentleman over there is covering his face with the newspaper because he says, I'm scary, Mommy. Wow, wow. But really, deny the protest and confirm the assessment? Well, I oppose on items 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I am in opposition, ma'am. And then I go into item on the ones where you have to pay law settlements, Rookie. Yeah, for example, Rookie, item 25 sets precedents because it says, fuck the resolution in motion relative to the fucking declaration of local emergencies for fucking mayor dated March 20th. On February 2017, conditions of extreme fucking peril of the safety of public property. Really? That's fucked up. What does the mayor know if he's not even here to conduct business on behalf of the public's interest? And then it goes on to stimulate, Mommy, to resolve that a local emergency exists and continues. Well, John was crying out, fire, fire. That's the reason why we have the Owens Lake water to hose down the fires at City Hall. And then I go into item 23 because you didn't allow me to speak on all the fucking items I signed up on, like 19, homelessness. But item 23 states for the record regarding Department of Housing. Here we go again. HHH. bitch, 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 H, 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 bitch, 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 Department of Housing and Urban Development. Well, I got something to say about the city council and the recess of this closed session. Fuck these white niggers to the bank, you attorneys. Don't let them steal from the public. Don't allow them to, what? ADA Act. You violated the ADA Act, right? Title II discrimination on behalf of all the disabled and the DOJ. Fuck you, white niggers, ADA.
Now, Madam Chair, as you mentioned yesterday about regarding my babysitting, if you would hire a babysitter for us, then I can be babysat and suck on something while you drink something. You see? Then I can keep my fat, big mouth shut up. But instead, I exercise my First Amendment to criticize those who oppose on the HHH and those who continue to promote homelessness in Los Angeles, more so against African Americans and the other individuals who are like myself, minorities. So on behalf of all minorities and those that you say need babysitters, fuck you, Los Angeles. Put the fucking mayor to work and resolve the homeless issue. It has increased, not decreased, so stuff $138 million up your white ass, niggers.
Next speaker is Eric Previn. And Mr. Previn, you've signed up to speak on items 1, 2, 4, 17, 18, 25, and general public comment.
Well, thank you, Council President Martinez. That is an incomplete list, but I am content to begin.
Sir, I'm not the one who
with
filled out your
that's
cards
fine.
for you.
No need
You
to
did.
interrupt. I'm content to move forward. 1 through 4 are a series of lighting district hearing protests. Now, what's going on here, and to be very, very clear, is we are having a hearing, and public hearings are held as a matter of due process. The basic idea is before a government agency takes an action, like to assess them to bring a lighting district or to tabulate the votes in regard to something like that, they provide an opportunity for individuals in the public to be heard on that. And so they come to this microphone and are systematically reduced to hashtag size of Mr. Bloomingfield's nose, which is unfortunate because we're going to change that. But that's what's been happening. And for the public hearings, each one is supposed to get a discrete minute because they're separate than agenda items on an agenda that miss a consent agenda. That Mr.
The
Fauble
speaker's
agreed.
off topic right now.
Okay, let's move forward to item number 9. You cannot say boingo without raising the nose bonin. This is a $2.2 million credit.
The speaker
to
didn't
Boingo.
sign up for item 9, Madam President.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was the Wi-Fi at the airport. Fair enough. Okay, item number 6, we have escalating penalties against catering trucks. This is something that I know there's
Madam
been
President,
a little...
item 6 has already been voted on.
Sir, you got to keep track of the items you filled out cards for. I just told her which they are. You need to stick to the items.
How about 23, the Department of Justice investigation for which we're
That
hiring
has been-
additional counsel?
Yes, go ahead.
Is that okay? So this is the one where we have a DOJ investigation. Wait a minute. Is the DOJ? Yeah, that's right. The DOJ investigation. You did not make any comments about that. We have noted the Mai Ling matter where she was expecting accessible housing, could not get into her shower. The developers had taken lots of money to provide access, and then unfortunately they didn't provide it. And now we are facing a $900 million potential liability, plus, unfortunately, a U.S. attorney. That's what DOJ means for those who are looking at it for criminal charges. So this, obviously, on top of Willits and independent living, is extremely upsetting, and that's why we are robustly opposed to the constant going into closed session, because we think that the agency should do the business of the people out in public, because we would always agree, like on another item coming up, to a voluntary compliance agreement, because we know that protecting individuals' access is something that we all value. We don't shift and bob and weave about the oh, there's Mr. Englander piping in your ear. That's kind of attractive. Okay, so now I will move on to, I just want to say thank you to the great Jeff Ebenstein and Paul Koretz for finally continuing item number 5. There was a great outcry, and they've agreed
The speaker's
to do it.
off topic, Madam President.
How is that off topic, sir? I thought that was the whole point. Okay, well, I'm happy to continue. Item number 14 and 15 are the conflict panel and the legal bills, where you're arranging, Mr. Falble.
Madam President, those items have been voted on already.
All right, well, what do you guys have on the agenda that you want to hear about? It's like maybe your general public.
Yeah, you have 1 minute, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you finally for allowing us to raise up the point that we've been focused on, which is that the legal fighting here at the city and at the county needs to be done out in the open. And by having this system that's in place, we feel that you're pressured because you want the money for your own purposes to do things that are not necessarily the right thing. And so this is why we've been such advocates about conducting the city's legal affairs out in the open. It is a controversial area, no doubt. You have enjoyed the privacy and seclusion of being approached by your lawyers in private, where we can't really hear it, and that is what we're trying to change. So I would appreciate it, Councilmember Martinez, you know, because you're involved in many of these ongoing investigations and problems that we find in the districts, if you would raise your voice with the other council members to
Thank you, sir. Mr. Walsh? Mr. Walsh, I'm just going to remind you, you filled out cards for items number 1, 3, 17, 25, and general public comment. Go ahead.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org or J. Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems. Now, number 1 is street lighting. As I've said, you once you got rid of the carbon arc lights, you've been doing an excellent job. I'm not one of those white guys who get up here and say you're all a bunch of crooks. Get out of here. I'm not that kind of white guy. Number 3, this is more street lighting, another good job done on Radford. And then we go to number 17. This is hire a consultant. You're supposed to do the job. You didn't run on elect me and we'll hire consultants who are friends of mine. No, you didn't do that. And this is for a parking utilization study for Reseda and Canoga Park. Fold that in 4 parts and shove it up your ass. We don't need that. That's why this city is near bankruptcy. And number 25. Okay, number 25, and this is the aqueduct. Safety, look what it says, extreme peril to the safety of public property. Are they going to talk about it? They don't give a syphilitic rat's ass about safety. All they're interested in is about money. So they're not going to talk on it, but if you go check it out, you'll see what's happening here. Impact on the aqueduct, everything is falling apart. Swiss, come on over here, come to our area. We need the Swiss government to for their the Swiss government to come here and take over the city and throw you people out. You can have your. I don't squeeze every second. Thank you, leave. No. You can take your 35 seconds and shove it up your ass, all of your asses. Okay, now we go to 1 minute of public comment. And St. John's Armenian Church. Have you ever heard of it? They tore it down. Did the Times do a story on it? No, because of the anti-Christian Davan Maharaj. He is the editor of he's the editor of the Times. I'm telling you right now, it's gone. Only the Armenians destroy their own churches. The Jews don't destroy their own synagogues. The Muslims don't destroy their own places of worship. Only the Jews. The Jews don't do it. Only the Armenians. Go, if you want to read a story about it, just put in St. John's Armenian Church demolition. And what comes out? Their own Armenian report. They've torn down their church. What despicable scumbags. And Krikorian.
All right, thank you, Mr. Walsh. Members, we're going to go ahead and take up some items for vote. Let's go ahead and vote on items 1 through 4, 17, 18, and 25. Let's open up the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
13 ayes.
Okay, those items pass.
Madam President, would you like to recess the regular meeting and go into the special?
Yeah, let's go ahead and take up that item 25.
Very good.
Sorry.
Blumenfield, Bonabuscaino, Cedillo, Engler, Harris, Sasson, Weezer, Carres, Krikorian, Martinez, O'Farrell, Price, Rue, Weston, 13 members present. That brings us to item 24. It's an item noticed for public hearing. It's an item for which a public hearing has not been held. 10 votes are required for consideration.
Thank you very much. Let's go ahead without objection. That item is before us, and I mistakenly said 25. I meant 24. We do have a number of speakers on this item. Sean? Is Sean still here? I think Sean left. Mr. Walsh? Followed by Eric Previn and Herman. Item 24.
John Walsh, blogging at HollywoodHighlands.org, J. Walsh Confidential, tweeting at Hollywood Dems. Why does this rate a special council meeting? It's the sale of one condominium at 1119 Albany Street, Unit 330. What's so important about this that we're having a separate meeting for this? And they're charging, and who is buying it? It doesn't tell you who. What we know is that according to here, the buyer is paying $308,000 above the property's full appraisal value. That's not nearly enough. This is a gift. This is a gift from somebody to somebody. And you see no name of city council members, nothing. This is the $300,000 here, $300,000 there. You scumbag thieves.
Mr. Previn? On item 24, followed by Herman.
Thank you. It is Eric Previn from the 3rd District. This is relevant to the CD1. Now here, when I scanned this, I thought, oh, great. Here's one of these secondary loans for $60,000 to help a first-time home buyer, 3% down, 80% of the EMT. But it's not. It's actually market rate. So that's Mr. Cedillo doing what Mr. Cedillo does best. We're selling it. It's city property. It's a condo for market rate. Now, no strings attached. We get the money. City gets the money. It goes into the Affordable Trust Fund or something. So that's a big bummer, quite frankly, because we have a spot that we could make, but this is what we call kind of gentrification. That's why it's on the special meeting agenda. That's why there's nobody down here who noticed, and that is how we roll. So I'd like to thank Mr. Tripp for smiling along, giggling, and Mr. Ebenstein for scanning his phone, and all the little deputies who've helped, and Mr. Cedillo's got his team on this one, and this is going to be great for LA because it's, once again, market rate. And is 308 a fair price? Ask the appraisers over at GSD. They have a whole cadre of folks who can help get the price right.
Next speaker is Herman on item 24.
Madam Chair, regarding the location at 1119 Albany Street, Unit 330, for the small amount of $308,000, we already know that that's not affordable housing because most of us wetbacks make minimum wage. Most of us in poverty, called homeless, HHH, measure H, live in poverty. So I don't know what the white nigger attorney is trying to say about this, but there is no low income, brother. And respectively, under the Fair Housing Act and the Rehab Act, I believe the city attorney swamboodles Mr. Cedillo in saying that this is affordable housing. Well, on behalf of the Cedillo team, fuck the city attorney and Mike Fior under 54956 D2E2 and the Rehab Act of ADA. Fuck all of you.
Mr. City Clerk, that concludes on cards on this item. Let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the vote.
13 ayes.
Madam President, would you like to adjourn the special meeting and return to the regular?
Yes, let's do that and take up two general public comment cards. Lori Atwater, are you here? Lori Atwater and Omar Pena. Go ahead, sir.
Good morning. My name is Lori Atwater, and I'm a resident of 135 South Clarence Street in the city of Los Angeles. And I'm very pleased to be before the council this morning just to applaud you for all of the hard effort that I've seen related to addressing the issue of homelessness in our city. I was born and raised in Los Angeles and attended public schools here. I spent the last 26 years in the city of San Luis Obispo, where I raised my family, and I've come back to Los Angeles and will be seeking a general contractor's license to assist in the area of building homeless housing, sustainable communities. Currently work for Southern California Edison in residential new construction, and I'm letting you know that I am available to serve. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Next speaker is Omar Pena.
Good day. Again, I've addressed your board once before, previous to Thanksgiving. My name is Omar Pena. I had previously lived in 1st District. I have submitted a pamphlet of papers to Mr. Cedillo's assistant today. I did address Mr. Cedillo. He allowed me to do so. And this is for the city attorney. I have also addressed Ms. Mei Chang as recently as 2014 and Ms. Kochek as recently as last month. This is in regards to fire arson report 2013-070113, July 9th, 2013. My house was burnt down by a non-owner, non-authorized individual by the name of Enoch Song. She lives in Torrance, California, and charges have not been brought against her. I was rendered homeless. My pets were tragically murdered in the fire. I have addressed Mr. Cedillo's office 3 times, the city attorney's office, my local senator, and various members of this board. Nobody has
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Your time is up. Thank you very much. And that, Mr. Herman. Mr. City Clerk, that concludes general public comment, so that general public comment is now closed. And there's been a request from the city attorney's office to send items 14 and 19 forthwith. I'm sorry, 14, 19 through 22 forthwith. Sergeants, can we please prepare our council chambers for closed session? We can take up item 23 in closed session.
Just because of the way they prefer people, as in gays or just their skin color. It's wrong, and something needs to be done. A hate crime is any criminal act directed against a person based on the victim's actual or perceived nationality, religion, sexual orientation, disability, gender, and especially race. Examples of hate crimes include acts which result in injury even if the injury is slight, threats of violence that look like they can be carried out, acts which result in property damage, any criminal act or attempted criminal act, including property damage directed against public or private agencies.
The suspect can spend up to 1 year in jail, and if it's a felony, it could either be between 2 and 4 years for a prison sentence.
If you believe a hate crime has occurred or will occur, you are very much encouraged to contact the Los Angeles Police Department or the We Tip hotline. Public cooperation is often essential in solving hate crimes. We Tip hotline, 909-987-5005.
Property theft has spiked in the area the past year due to easy access for thieves. Almost 80% of car theft occurs because of unlocked doors. Locking your doors takes a matter of seconds and can become so routine that you may forget whether you locked your doors or not. But it's worth the effort to double check. The more successful thieves are at taking items out of a car, the more chances they are going to come back to that area. Don't let our town be that area. One simple precaution is to hide or cover any valuable items when leaving your car unattended. Simple actions like these can prevent you from becoming a victim of property theft. The Los Angeles Police Department would like you to remember, lock it or lose it.
never had a traffic accident like this before, where a teenager has decided to run from the police and been struck by a motor vehicle.
5859 KF 5060, watch 3. 5060,
Curfew laws restrict the right of juveniles to be outdoors or in the public places after 10 p.m. until sunrise the next day. Such laws aim to establish a safer community and to better protect people from becoming victims of crimes or becoming involved in a crime. Most people don't agree with our curfew laws and would rather run the risk of being picked up by the police and ticketed for violation of curfew. However, they are more likely to run into the many real dangers that face us every time we go out at night.
We have found that kids out so late are normally caught up in violence, traffic accidents, and we up to no good. Some of these kids still they're not aware of the law, and they're not educated on it.
Drinking, drugs, sexual predators, and gang-related activities are only few of the dangers we face regardless of how young or old you are. If you are under the age of 18, this law applies to you. What happens if you are caught? You will be taken to the station where the ticket is written out to you and your parent or guardian are called to pick you up. If your parent cannot pick you up, you will be placed into a protective custody or sent to a juvenile facility.
Guardian at something like an event such as Pearl Beach.
The guardian is not just someone appointed to by the parents, a guardian is someone appointed by the courts.
You can legally stay out late if you are participating in a religious, educational, or political activity, accompanied by a parent or guardian, going to or from their place of employment, responding to some type of emergency, returning home from school, cultural, or recreation activity.
And that's our message, is not only enforcing the curfew violation, but also educating them that they need to stay home and stay safe.
The curfew laws are not just here to protect us, they're here to protect the safety of everyone in our community.
are investigating a series of bizarre and disturbing attacks that have left children in cities from coast to coast injured and fearing for their safety. As Global's Anna Gabauer tells us, the young victims were targeted simply because of the color of their hair.
They better and well. We begin with an Eyewitness News exclusive disturbing video of a gay man being beaten in Queens.
The individual was attacked simply for his orientation, and we're just not going to tolerate it.
The word hate is just unexcusable. It's a word that shouldn't be used, and to hate somebody for the color of their skin is just not right.
It creates fear among all of the community members.
I think it's wrong how people discriminate against others just because of the way they prefer people, as in gays or just their skin color. It's wrong, and something needs to be done. A hate crime is any criminal act directed against a person based on the victim's actual or perceived nationality, religion, sexual orientation, disability, gender, and especially race. Examples of hate crimes include acts which result in injury even if the injury is slight, threats of violence that look like they can be carried out, acts which result in property damage, any criminal act or attempted criminal act, including property damage directed against public or private agencies.
A suspect can spend up to 1 year in jail, and if it's a felony, it could either be between 2 and 4 years for a prison sentence.
If you believe a hate crime has occurred or will occur, you are very much encouraged to contact the Los Angeles Police Department or the We Tip hotline. Public cooperation is often essential in solving hate crimes. We Tip hotline, 909-987-5005.
Property theft has spiked in the area the past year due to easy access for thieves. Almost 80% of car theft occurs because of unlocked doors. Locking your doors takes a matter of seconds and can become so routine that you may forget whether you locked your doors or not. But it's worth the effort to double check. The more successful thieves are at taking items out of a car, the more chances they are going to come back to that area. Don't let our town be that area. One simple precaution is to hide or cover any valuable items when leaving your car unattended. Simple actions like these can prevent you from becoming a victim of property theft. The Los Angeles Police Department would like you to remember, lock it or lose it.
never had a traffic accident like this before, where a teenager has decided to run from the police and been struck by a motor vehicle.
5859, KF 5060, watch 3. 5060,
Curfew laws restrict the right of juveniles to be outdoors or in the public places after 10 p.m. until sunrise the next day. Such laws aim to establish a safer community and to better protect people from becoming victims of crimes or becoming involved in a crime. Most people don't agree with our curfew laws and would rather run the risk of being picked up by the police and ticketed for violation of curfew. However, they are more likely to run into the many real dangers that face us every time we go out at night.
We have found that kids out so late are normally caught up in violence, traffic accidents, and we up to no good. Some of these kids still they're not aware of the law, and they're not educated on it.
Drinking, drugs, sexual predators, and gang-related activities are only few of the dangers we face regardless of how young or old you are. If you are under the age of 18, this law applies to you. What happens if you are caught? You will be taken to the station where the ticket is written out to you and your parent or guardian are called to pick you up. If your parent cannot pick you up, you will be placed into a protective custody or sent to a juvenile facility.
Guardian at something like an event such as Grill Beach.
The guardian is not just someone appointed to by the parents. A guardian is someone appointed by the courts.
You can legally stay out late if you are participating in a religious, educational, or political activity, accompanied by a parent or guardian, going to or from their place of employment, responding to some type of emergency, returning home from school, cultural, or recreation activity.
And that's our message, is not only enforcing the curfew violation, but also educating them that they need to stay home and stay safe.
The curfew laws are not just here to protect us, they are here to protect the safety of everyone in our community.
investigating a series of bizarre and disturbing attacks that have left children in cities from coast to coast injured and fearing for their safety. As Global's Anna Gebauer tells us, the young victims were targeted simply because of the color of their hair.
They better, and while we begin with an Eyewitness News exclusive disturbing video of a gay man being beaten in Queens.
The individual was attacked simply for his orientation, and we're just not going to tolerate it.
The word hate is just unexcusable. It's a word that shouldn't be used, and to hate somebody for the color of their skin is just not right.
It creates fear among all of the community members.
I think it's wrong how people discriminate against others just because of the way they prefer people, as in gays or just their skin color. It's wrong, and something needs to be done. A hate crime is any criminal act directed against a person based on the victim's actual or perceived nationality, religion, sexual orientation, disability, gender, and especially race. Examples of hate crimes include acts which result in injury even if the injury is slight, threats of violence that look like they can be carried out, acts which result in property damage, any criminal act or attempted criminal act, including property damage directed against public or private agencies.
The suspect can spend up to 1 year in jail, and if it's a felony, it could either be between 2 and 4 years for a prison sentence.
If you believe a hate crime has occurred or will occur, you are very much encouraged to contact the Los Angeles Police Department or the We Tip hotline. Public cooperation is often essential in solving hate crimes. We Tip hotline, 909-987-5005.
Property theft has spiked in the area the past year due to easy access for thieves. Almost 80% of car theft occurs because of unlocked doors. Locking your doors takes a matter of seconds and can become so routine that you may forget whether you locked your doors or not. But it's worth the effort to double check. The more successful thieves are at taking items out of a car, the more chances they are going to come back to that area. Don't let our town be that area. One simple precaution is to hide or cover any valuable items when leaving your car unattended. Simple actions like these can prevent you from becoming a victim of property theft. The Los Angeles Police Department would like you to remember, lock it or lose it.
Mr. City Clerk, what's before us now?
Madam President, Council has motions for posting and referral.
Posted and referred. Members, are there any announcements? Anyone have any announcements? Can we all please rise for adjourning motions? Members on my left, are there any adjourning motions? Seeing none. Members on my right, any adjourning motions? Seeing none. You do have an adjourning motion? We believe Mr. Buscaino may have an adjourning motion. Members, there is one adjourning motion from Mr. Buscaino. I believe he's in the back, but he's making his way up. Mr. Buscaino, whenever you're ready, sir.
Thank you, Madam President. Colleagues, it's with great sadness that we adjourn today in memory of Valen Caceres Watson. I'm joined by her loving daughter, Mimi, and her loving husband, Bob. Valen was an important part of our San Pedro community. Sorry, guys. Passed away on April 22nd. She was born in Toronto, but for the last decade, she resided in San Pedro. Very active, vocal member of the community. Was one of my best friends as a senior lead officer, patrolling the streets in San Pedro. We were here joined by her loving husband, Bob, who is also an integral part of our San Pedro community. Mimi, watched Mimi grow up as a classmate of my son's in South Shores, and just recently culminated with honors at Dana Middle School and was a part of the award-winning Dana Marching Band. Valen was a woman of many talents, colleagues. She was a successful studio producer, freelance writer, novelist, columnist, playwright. She began her career in studio productions with clients like MGM Studios and Warner Brothers, then transitioned into newspaper and freelance journalism. But the one role that she loved the most was being Mimi's mom. Valen was always up for new challenges. She switched career tracks, publishing the 2011 novel House of Northern Lights, which received widespread acclaim. Valen loved spending time with her family, eating at Mishi Strudel, shopping at Merrill Design, writing, taking photos, and volunteering in her community. The San Pedro community had an incredible ceremony in honor of Valen, and I'm just so blessed to have known her. She was an incredible partner of mine as it relates to improving the quality of life in the San Pedro community, very active and engaged in neighborhood councils and CPABs, and our hearts go out to Bob and Mimi and all of her friends and her colleagues. May Valen rest in peace. Thank you so much, colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Buscaino. Our sincerest condolences to the family. And I know your mom's with you every single day. Thank you, Mr. Buscaino. Any other adjourning motions? Members, if you please help me wish a very happy birthday to our very own CLA Sharon So. Happy birthday. We love you. You are amazing. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned.